Now, is it better to move to the UK alone and later bring your family? Or is it better to move to the UK, bringing your family along with you at the same time? And secondly, the certificate of sponsorship or sponsorship job. Does this sponsorship cover all your expenses, traveling expenses here in the UK? These are the two major points I shall be talking about, especially correcting the misconception a few people have about sponsorship jobs in the UK, because a lot of them took to my inbox asking me if sponsorship means the company employing you or the trust employing you, paying all the expenses for you, your traveling expenses, your accommodation for your family and for yourself. So that being said, my name is Chinyere Ojike and I am a mom vlogger here in the UK. I basically answer general questions about the UK. Feel free to drop your questions if you have any. I will make a video about them or reply to you directly. All right, so let's start by clarifying this misconception a lot of people have about the certificate of sponsorship. When you hear certificate of sponsorship or sponsored job, it does not mean that any employer here in the UK would pay your expenses to the UK, bringing in you and your family to the UK and catering for all that are involved. No, that is not true. A certificate of sponsorship or a sponsorship job simply means it's a number written on a document, a piece of paper showing that you have been given a job. You have gotten a license to come work in the UK. So a licensed employer offers you this. This is the document or the number that you will input when applying for your visa, certificate of sponsorship, showing that you have been given a job to come into UK to work. And once you use it to apply for your visa, you come into the UK. And remember that COS lasts for a period of 3 months. That is why you are expected to go to any office, post office nearest to you on arrival within your first 1 week, to collect your BRP. So basically, without COS, you cannot come in here and work. You can't come in here and take up any job. The COS does not mean your living expenses are covered, your accommodation for the family. No, you can bring in your family on your own account. But then the trust that is employing you, they have the kind of maintenance fee that they might cover for you. We came in here under the Tier 2 sponsored visa. Did we get our refund, the flight money from Saudi Arabia? We didn't get that. What they covered was the relocation fee was what we got refunded. Relocation fee, we relocated from Saudi Arabia. But our relocation fee, according to the trust that employed my husband, covered only the expenses we incurred within the UK. The flight we boarded from Heathrow Airport to Teesside, then the cost of moving in our, the cargo luggage from London to this place, not even from Saudi Arabia to the UK, that was just the money they got paid. And if the trust or your employer is providing an accommodation, bear in mind that you will be paying for the accommodation, even if you are a nurse, especially the trust accommodation, it's not totally free. You have to pay some amount of money at a subsidized rate. So now that brings me to the second point. Is it better to move to the UK alone, settle down first and go back to your country and bring your family or invite them over? Or is it better to move into the UK the same time you are moving in with your wife, your husband, and your children? Which is preferred? I am not here to tell you that this is preferred, that is preferred. But the points I will be stating here and with the emphasis I will be laying out here would enable you to make the right choice, whether to decide either ways. Now, firstly, there is something you have to consider, the finance that is involved. It's a lot of money moving to UK. As a single person, talk more of moving to UK the same time with your family of 3, family of 4, 5, and 6, and above. It's a whole lot of money, But luckily to those in the health sector, those coming in as health workers, they no longer pay health surcharge. That is removed for them because we didn't pay health surcharge when we are coming in. But you still have to pay for other expenses such as your visa. You pay for your visa application, your flight fare, you have to pay for it. Like I said, certificate of sponsorship does not cover this. You have to pay from your pocket. Now, that's my husband's colleague that relocated with his family to London, and they promised to pay him the flight fare. Guess what? On arrival, they told him that he must work for them for a period of 2 years before ever they can, balance him the flight fare he paid to relocate from Nigeria to the UK. So these things varies according to trust or your employers. It depends on what they have on ground for you, So you have to consider the cost of, living expenses, providing for your family of 3, 4, 5 and above, and the cost of getting accommodation. It is something that is a bit difficult, not entirely difficult, but a bit difficult to come by, Like I said in my other videos, arriving here first is either you lodge in a hotel or Airbnb before you get a house. Do you have enough money to cover for the cost of lodging and paying for all this beforehand? So these are all the things you're going to be considering. But then, assuming you are a doctor, a nurse, a health worker, particularly nurses and doctors, arriving to the UK, you might decide to stay in the trust accommodation. That's the hospital accommodation provided to you as a single person that you should be paying little amount of money, until the time being, until you are able to move from the hospital's accommodation. For instance, that's the female doctor that came here 4 months after we arrived. She came from Nigeria. The husband is a doctor. They have 2 children. She came alone. She was staying in the trust accommodation, hospital accommodation. While staying there, she was looking for a house because she planned to bring in her family. Now, after a while, the husband joined, the husband came. By the time the husband came, she already found an accommodation outside of the hospital's accommodation. In fact, my husband and myself went to help her fix her bed, do a lot of things in that accommodation before the husband arrived. And after about a month, her mom arrived with her children. She brought her mom and the children, that's the granny. And meanwhile, the children are always comfortable around their grandparents. So she felt at home, leaving her family in Nigeria and coming down here first. Everybody will not have such advantage or such opportunities, such free-mindedness of leaving their children back home and moving to the UK. I am giving you options left and right. You are to make the decision yourself. The second point to consider is the concentration, staying here alone when your family are in the other part of the world. Definitely they will be taking your time. You'll be spending more time on the video call, chatting up your children, chatting up with your wife, when if they were here or if they had moved in here with you at the same time, they should be home. You should come back from work and meet up with them. Then have time to do your online webinar, your trainings. You wouldn't have to bother calling them, knowing how they are faring back home, if everything is fine with them over there. I remember the reason I joined my husband in Saudi Arabia. It wasn't really a fantastic experience though, but I had to go there because he was totally alone on his own. He even took ill and was admitted in the hospital with no family around. He comes home, he stays alone. I decided to join him there to support him emotionally, physically, mentally, and always being there for. So can you concentrate when your family are far off and you are here alone? This is another reason a lot of people tend to move in here with their family, It is best for you to decide. In the other way around, I said, if you have grandparents, if your children are used to them, or if one of you, either your husband or your wife, can as well be happy taking care of them alone while you are here for the meantime, then you get an accommodation within first month or 2 months. There is no definite time for you to bring in your family once you are here already. It might be after a week of your arrival here, after the second week of your arrival, you can bring the other family that visited me here, The young man came alone. Yeah, he's a lawyer in Nigeria. He came alone to do masters, stayed in an Airbnb, and after about 3 months, the wife joined. Their children are still in Nigeria, staying with their grandparents because they are comfortable with that. So they said their children will be coming around December time, which is fantastic. Now, in all this, the most vital point is the decision, the agreement between you and your spouse. Does she or he wants to move in with you immediately? Or does she consent or agree to you coming here first while she joins you afterward? This is just the major points to be considered. Then another point to consider, if you are moving here alone with your children, maybe mom of 2, 3, will you be able to cope? Going to work, you don't take your children to work, especially when your children are still very little, maybe under 10. How possible will it be for you? Because you are here on a full-time work where you are expected to work 35 to 40 hours a week. Definitely you are resuming work 8 o'clock or half 8, depending on the time. Your children are starting school that same time. Will you be able to do school run for your children and then go to work? Definitely you're going to have problem with your employer. So I think, in the other way around, if you have your partner here, your partner should be able, to help out in opposite direction. While you go to work, while, your partner keep looking for what to do. Now, for me, I have a night shift that I'll be covering very soon during the weekend. I haven't told my husband my fears, my worries. I've thought about it. I don't want to share my fears with him because I don't want him to start worrying. Because I will be doing that night shift on a Sunday night, finishing 7:45 in the morning. My husband will be starting work that same Monday morning, 8 a.m. And usually he leaves the house around 7:40, But I am wondering how we're going to do it because and it's in a far place. I haven't been there. But what am I going to do? I don't want to share this with him because he will be concerned. But what I have to do, I have thought about it, is just to take the cab coming back. Even if it means me paying 20 pounds, I don't mind. I will take the cab and I've planned to go to work. Instead of resuming work 9:45, I will be there at 9:30 so that I can talk to the person I'm going to work with if they will let me leave my work at 7:30 so that I can come home to my boy while my husband leaves for work. This is another point where it is necessary to come in with your spouse, because both of you will be working in opposite direction. When you are not there, your spouse takes the responsibilities of taking care of the children. The final point is expenditure. The money you spend here is quite higher. When you compare pounds to naira or to any local currency you are coming in with, it's a whole lot of money. So assuming you move in here with your family immediately, will you be able to cover for their expenses, the feeding, transportation, like I've said, accommodation and all what have you. But if you move in here as a single person, I think it's a bit, I'm not suggesting, it's far more cheaper, because you have to run things on your own, not thinking of how to provide food for your family. And it can be very, very overwhelming when you haven't earned your first month's salary because you are spending the money you came in with. It's a whole lot. A lot of newbies in this country, they tend to borrow. You might be so lucky enough if you have people in the same profession with you that they might be kind to, lend you some money, knowing that once you earn your first month's salary, you can balance them back. It's a whole lot of challenging, arriving into a new country, a different world altogether, learning the systems, and then bringing in your children at the same time. It's a whole lot. And it also pays to have your family around. Yes, because when your head is about to blow popcorn, your wife is there to calm you down. Your husband is there to talk to you. Your children would embrace you on coming back from work. Daddy, welcome. Mommy, welcome. You would forget all the troubles, all the side talks you encountered, or all the difficulties you have encountered during the day. So it is left for you to weigh your options, which is better for you, moving in here with your family at the same time, or coming first, settling down and then invite them over to come. I know everybody wants to japa, especially from our sweet country, Nigeria, but that's all right. Start planning on time, save up money to come. Don't believe that these people are going to provide your living expenses, especially accommodation. They're not bringing nothing. Don't bank your hope on them paying your flight. You might be disappointed. So save up money for your family, no matter the number of your family. Yeah. So thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your time. See you again in my next video. Bye for now.